In this Map Suite MVC Edition sample app walkthrough, we're going to show you how you can execute a SQL query against a feature layer. In the case of this sample app here, we're using a shapefile feature layer that it's overlaid on top of the world map kit. And it's actually the country02 file, which we use in a lot of our samples. And you can see here we've got a text box which contains our SQL statement. And what we're doing is we're going to return any countries, the country name, the population from country02, where the population of that country is greater than 100 million. And so if I go ahead and click this Execute SQL button, you'll see this grid is now populated with all the countries in the country02 shapefile that have a population greater than 100 million. Now this sample doesn't actually highlight the countries on the map, but you could easily modify to do that if you want to tie your results from your SQL query to actually display them on the map as well as a grid. So let's take a look at the controller source to show how you would do the SQL query statement. So when that button is executed, this execute SQL query routine is going to be called. And in here, the first thing we're going to do is create a new collection. And we're going to see if there's any query strings passed in here, because we want to get our actual text of our from our text box. So we've got our SQL statement that's been passed to the server side here. And then we're going to go ahead and get the feature source of our country02 shapefile. And if it's already on your map, you don't have to create a new shapefile feature source. You could just get a reference to your shapefile feature layer and use the feature source there. But in this case, they went ahead and created a new feature source. Then open that up, and then off of the feature source, there's an execute query method where you pass in your SQL statement. And that's going to return a data table of all the results. And once you have that, you just go ahead and close it, and you have a regular .NET data table that you can use, to populate a grid or do anything else that you would like. In this case, we're looping through the data table, and we're just adding it to the collection that we created up here for each country, and populating the country name and the population as well, and returning that back to the page to be rendered in this grid. Of course, since it is a data table, you can use it however you'd like to get that, to display your information. And if you did want to get the shapes as well, you can get the ID of the shape and then get that shape back to add to a highlight layer. Well, there's also a way to actually get the shape returned in the data table as well, and use that to populate your highlight layer if you wanted to highlight those countries on your map. I hope this sample app walkthrough has been helpful. If you have any questions about executing SQL statements on your feature layers, feel free to contact us, or you can post your questions directly on our discussion forums at thinkgeo.com/forums. Thank you for watching.